Hi folks, Mr. Thessalonian back here again. I want to take you through a project I've been working on. I showed you the mini gasifying wood stove prototype. This is a little bit larger version to see how it worked. I'm going to kind of take you through what's going on here. Real simple design here. You've got some open latches. So you can open up the door. The door's got the bent handle so it naturally stops on the downfall. Won't flop against the stove where it's nice and hot. We got a little wind today, so I'm going to try to do this in between the wind. Inside, this is where you feed your material. Inside the firebox, I've got a gasification style system built in there, which I'm going to take the camera, take the top off, and show you what it looks like inside. And tonight, I'm going to light it up and show you what it looks like burning. Open the door, show you to feed it, everything about it. I have another attachment that I'll show you here in about a week that goes off the bottom of this. I'm going to have to extend the legs. I had to set it up on cinder blocks to hook it up. One of the key things about a gasifying wood stove is that not only can I run it in a typical gasification wood stove manner to heat my home, but if I reverse that action with a fan and a draw system underneath the stove, with the ability to shut off the flow out the chimney pipe and then draw it down underneath the stove, reverse the action of the system, I can produce syngas that can go outside and into a generator, which I've got just about done. I've had the gas already flaring out of the pipe. Right now I'm trying to find a generator that'll run on this. So anyways, let me go through here and take you through the rest of it. I've got a little latch up here at the top. Drops open so you can get in there, work the material around. Over here on the side, which I'll show you here a little better in the moment, is just like the system on the smaller wood stove that I showed you, the prototype, where you actually pull the little latch out and it'll actually open and shut the bottom of the main gasifier inside of there. To shut it, you just rotate it, it locks into place. There's actually a dump plate on the bottom of the main gasification chamber so that all the ash and all the coal that's not burned can dump out of the system into a catch tray down below. And that's what this door right here, this little lever, you pull it, it opens up, you can see some ash probably falling out of there. Got a little caught here. There we go. Had some material in it. So this is going to open and shut your ash trap. As you can see, I've already burnt it and there's ash dropping out. The stovepipe here is another unique key piece to this. I found that throughout the gasification burn in this system, either I need a much larger chamber for the burn to take place with fresh air inlets right there in the chamber, or what I did here is create a secondary burn system. This is 2 layers of stovepipe, one smaller inner diameter stovepipe and one larger one. Give us a second for the wind here. Alright, up here on the top what I have is a pretty big key piece to this system. It's a double inner and outer sleeve of stovepipe. The outer sleeve stops below the bottom here, as you can see. It allows air to travel up in between, rise up through the pipe. Now there's a set of burner holes all the way around about this high and another set all the way at the top. That makes sure to mix fresh oxygen, creates a swirl in there, and helps burn any leftover syngas in the production system so there's no smoke coming out of this in the end. So let me grab the camera here. I'm going to walk you through a little closer, show you the dump system. I'm going to take the top off, let you see down inside of it, and show you how the double burner stovepipe works. Alright, here we are looking down inside the burn chamber. I'll back up a little. Took the top off of it. Wanted to show you how this works. So as you can see here, there's a ring of holes all the way around the top here. Those are 1/2-inch holes all the way around. Here's your burn chamber. If you look way down there at the bottom, let me zoom in just a little bit. You notice there's burn holes all the way around at the bottom down there. Okay, so there's your gasification burn chamber. You'll notice the dump plate at the very bottom there in the square cutout. I'll open up the valve for you here, and you can see how it opens and shuts. Allows the material to dump out. So what's happening here inside the wood stove is the inner chamber holds all your material. It gets hot, creates an air draw between this wall and the inner chamber wall. That air draw comes out these holes and mixes fresh oxygen into the top of the system with the smoke and burns it. The bottom holes allow air to draw in from the bottom to complete that burn as the material burns down to the bottom. It also works slightly as a Venturi system. As air is drawn up these walls towards these holes, creates a vacuum down here at the bottom holes and pulls some of the smoke out, a downward draw into the system, and pulls some of it into here, helping mix some of the smoke in with the air and we'll swirl it so it'll burn. So that's a really simple view of how this works. I'll show you here, this is the side how I hold the dump valve system. It's just a bent rod going through a guide hole. The lock here on the side is a lot like the mini version, just has a notch cut out that allows that to lock into. You rotate it out, it naturally pops up. And you can see it's just a flat rod going in there, hooked to the bottom of that plate. So we'll lock that together. Now this is going to be difficult to show you without flipping the stove over, but that just works an actuated plate at the bottom here. Let me go ahead and flip it over for you. So here you can see, there's the cutout, there's the opening of the plate, which will be kind of hard to do at this angle. Doesn't want to do it. But, so there's your plate that opens and shuts. Here's your air inlet hole, the single air inlet hole, which I'm going to put a valve over, but I'm using this right now to pull the smoke out of the bottom, to reverse this process, to put syngas out of this stove outside into a generator. So let me go ahead and flip this back up on its legs again. Very lightweight system, easy to build. I'm going to go ahead and take you here through the stovepipe. And as you can see down in here, there's a ring of holes right there all the way around. And all this is a top collar that I made, obviously out of some cookie can or something. Just made a bunch of little cuts, folded them over, creating a top collar between the outer and the inner ring in here. It'd be more difficult to show you the inner holes here. Well, you can see them right there in the light. There's your inner set of holes, and in the bottom of the shot there, we got some wind kicking up, so give me a second for the shot here. But in the bottom there in the light, you can see that inner ring of holes up at the very top. Alright, so that helps mix air between the walls here. Air gets drawn up between the walls since the inner pipe is longer than the outer pipe. Mixes fresh air and completes a secondary burn to make sure there's no smoke coming out of this pipe. And tonight what I'm going to do is fire this up and let you see it in action. Just show you real quick here the door. Nice and easy to build. We got the winds kicking, so I'm going to go ahead and end the shot here until this evening. I hope you enjoyed. This is Mr. Thessalonian and the Thessalonian Man Show.